Hi, my name is Jerry Parker. I'm a storyteller. And any story I tell you, I guarantee it to be 60% true. What I'm going to do today is something a little different. I'm going to tell you the story of the education in the Parker family, starting with my grandpa, who was born in Portland, Oregon, on an island in the Columbia River, very near the mouth. And it started there. I don't think that he got any education at all. And at 9 years of age, his dad and mother brought him back to Iowa on a wagon train. His dad and his mom got married on the wagon train from Iowa to Portland, Oregon. Someplace along that journey, they jumped over the broomstick. And, like I said, 9 years later, they brought Longley back to Iowa. When they got back there, his dad left him and Margaret, his mother, his wife, and his kids. The kids was Longley and two other daughters. Longley became the man of the house at 9, 10 years of age. He went to Coon Rapids and got a job, and it was one of the dirtiest, hardest, at an elevator, scooping corn off of a wagon, shoveling it into a hopper, and then later on taking it out of the bins and shipping it in a freight car. Longley had 9 kids. The first 3 kids did not graduate from the 8th grade. Leila, the oldest, she got married to another farmer because they needed somebody to do the cooking, the washing, and doing some of the chores and helping in the field and what have you. She had 2 kids. Leila never had an education. The next one was named Gurney. Gurney was caught in the World War I. He was one of the first ones to be taken out of Coon Rapids and sent to France. In France, he was killed by an artillery shell. He was the first soldier to be killed in Coon Rapids. And while he was in France, before he was killed, he wrote back to his dad and mom, telling them, tell the other kids to get an education because he could see that the only ones that were promoted and given some of the best jobs in the Army were the ones that had education. Seth was the next one. He quit school. He never graduated from the 8th grade. He never graduated. My dad was next. He wanted to go to school, thank God. He was the first member of the Parker family to graduate from high school. My dad wanted to really go on to college for the simple reason that he was a very good football player. That's one of the reasons he went to school. He finally graduated when he was in his 20s. Today, they have to graduate when they're 18. My dad had 4 kids. My oldest brother was Junior. And when he got out of high school, Dad offered him that he would pay his tuition and room and board if he wanted to go to college. My brother decided he didn't want to. He worked a year for Harry Cadden, who had a men's wardrobe store. And Junior sold men's suits, underwear, t-shirts, socks, and what have you. And he worked there for just a year, and then he decided he joined the Navy. And that was in 1941, before Pearl Harbor. And as a result, while Junior was in there, he was stationed in the South Pacific, and that was his job there. Now, I was the next one in the family, and I think, like my dad, who was a good football player, I was a fair basketball player. God, I loved it. You blow a whistle, I was there to play. When I got out of high school, I went to college. They accepted me. I did make the traveling team at a small college in Storm Lake, Iowa called Buena Vista. It took me 5 years to graduate. But I graduated. I was the first Parker to graduate from college. Now, I had 4 kids, and when they were born and growing up, they knew they were going to college. And to make sure they went to college, I wouldn't let them have a car till they graduated from college, and then I bought them a car full of gas, insurance, and give them the keys. 3 of those kids graduated from college and then went on and got a master's degree. The youngest, she graduated from college. But the courses she took was in CPA, accounting, and income tax, and such as that. It surprised me, and it shouldn't have, that she graduated cum laude. But her and her husband, or I should say, her husband and I, we called it cum laude. Anyway, she had to go to school every year to learn the new tax code and the new changes and so on. She became a CPA and became a member of a CPA company. And when she retired, she sold her shares in it. Now, I got a bunch of great grandkids. One of them tried college, didn't make it. Another one tried college. He finally made it, but he didn't really have a degree in any type of work. It was kind of worthless to him. One other one went to Georgia Tech. And he stayed in Georgia Tech till he come out as a master computer expert. Another one of my great grandkids got into acting, and he was finally hired by a school in Washington, Bellingham, Washington, and they made him head director of the section for entertainment. Some of the others also graduated from college. And nowadays, you don't graduate so much as you got to learn computers and how they work. And it is a different society now. But it is very important to get an education, whether it's in the crafts, doing mechanic work, cooking. All of these things are necessary in today's society. Thanks. I'm Jerry Parker, and I'm a storyteller.